All right, this is a story problem from section 6.6 on bed mass with fractions. It says Ron earns $15 an hour as a security guard. For time worked above 35 hours in a week, he earns time and a third. Okay, so he earns time and a third means he earns a third more per hour than he would normally. So how much does Ron earn for working a 41-hour work week? So 41 hours, the first thing we're going to do is figure out how many hours is that he's going to be working. He's going to be working 35 hours of regular time. And he's going to be working 6 hours of what kind of time? What do we call that when he works past what he's supposed to? Overtime. Thank you, Calvin. Overtime. So the 41 hours are going to be made up of 35 hours of regular time plus an additional 6 hours of overtime. So really what we're going to do is construct a sentence or a mathematical statement that represents that. So 35 hours is going to be 35 hours of $15. And he's going to make 6 hours of how much per hour? How much does he make per hour for those 6 hours? He makes 1 1/3 times 15. So I'm going to multiply that by this here. Oh, I use square brackets. I could have used round brackets, but I use square brackets. So to understand this 1 1/3 and why we're multiplying it, if you work double time, it would be, instead of being 1 1/3, it would be actually 2, which means for double time, he would be making $30 an hour. Okay, if he was working double time. If he made triple time, like working Christmas Day, sometimes you get paid triple time, he'd be making $45 an hour. Okay, but for this particular job, he earns 1 1/3 times his regular wage. So 1 1/3 times the $15 an hour will represent how much he makes per hour for those 6 hours of overtime. So when we work this out with bed mass, I'm going to keep this first. I'm not going to do these yet. First thing I'm going to actually do is figure out how much he's making per hour for the overtime. So again, it's a whole number. First thing I'm going to do is just drop it as to be 15 over 1. So it's going to be 15 over 1 multiplied by 1 1/3 is an improper fraction, is 4/3, which equals 60 thirds, because 15 times 4 is 60, and 1 times 3 is 3, which means he will be making $20 per hour for those 6 hours of overtime. Each of those hours, he will be making $20 per hour. Okay, so this is our new sentence right here. This represents his regular wage of $35 or $15 for 35 hours. And this right here represents his $20 an hour for 6 hours. When we multiply this out, 35 times 15, bring my calculator over here, 35 times 15 is $525 for his regular wage. Plus, I think we can do 6 times 120 or head. That's $120 for the 6 hours of overtime he worked. And when we put that together, his paycheck for that week will be $645.